there, that they probably could have used it at the end of the half or whatever, to that. It seemed like that was one of the, again, it's nitpicking, but they'd been very good over the last 4 or 5 games about that, even on the road, even though they haven't played a lot of road games. But tonight it seemed like there was just a lot of, and I think some of that was with the way that they played defense, and then it was LaFleur was having to try to, he got a little fluttered there. You could see it on his face, and I think that was why there was a little bit of slowness of, there was things he wanted to call, but because of how they were zero blitzing constantly and getting pressure, even when they're only bringing 5 and guys were missing assignments, I think it was forcing him to have to change where he was wanting to go on his play sheet, and that was taking extra time up. But it was something that was annoying me all night.
Yeah, it for sure was. There's a lot of little things. Like, for instance, what's going on with, all right, again, David Bakhtiari, one of the best left tackles in the entire game. I'm not going to ever be mad if David Bakhtiari is my left tackle for my favorite team because he's that good. But I will say this. Going into every game, teams have the opportunity to basically tell the opposing refs, not opposing, but the ref team, basically, hey, here's the things that we want you to watch out for. Here's the things that we want you to
all coaches do it. All players do it.
Yeah, they're supposed to do that, right? Like any good coaching staff does it. And I feel like everyone has put David Bakhtiari on notice this year. He's gotten called for way more penalties in the past. And
tippy-tap holding calls, too. Not even big ones.
I know, but I feel like it's coming because people are just like, hey, he holds, watch out for it. When in reality, any given play on offense versus defense, like the tackle and the pass rusher on that side, they're going to get, there's a penalty one way or the other, whether it's on the offense or the defense. But I feel like he's getting more calls against him than normal because I feel like the opponents have been making it more aware to the refs. I guess that was
been what, 5 or 6 years, and they can't get by him, and so they've literally got to the players have gotten the fan bases now to jump on board with this, to just bitch that David Bakhtiari is only good because he holds. Like, go look at the Twitter feeds, and it's literally the players that play him. He is, look, I'm going to say this. Every offensive lineman holds. Trey Flowers, nowhere in the history of the NFL or any football field or any coaching staff of 5-year-olds or freaking older have ever taught a pass rush move where you grab the inside collar of the shoulder pads, which are not attached to your bone or skins and can move, because the rules clearly state it doesn't have to be a forcible blow. If it touches your face or your neck nowadays, it's a penalty. So you don't want to grab something. And everybody else has been pissed because since he was a rookie, he came in and he took the number 1 pass rusher from the year before in 2 games that year in Mr. Allen the Cowboy and shut him out. And he's been doing it to the pass rushers ever since. And now they figure since they can't beat him, let's just have the refs do their job for him. And he's getting more calls, just him, than any other left tackle in the league. And they all play the game the same. They're all facing premier pass rushers. They're all using the same techniques, and he has never been penalized as much in a whole season, as he's been in the first 8 games of this year. It's ridiculous.
Again, I know. I agree, and I feel like that's because other opponents' coaching staffs have put an emphasis on that with the refs, and they're actually like watching for it. And so if they see a reason to throw the flag, now they are. Where in the past they weren't. So I feel like, you know what, we got to do the same thing against our opponents and say, hey, if that fucking left tackle is doing anything remotely questionable, we need to start telling them, hey, start watching this, start watching that. And then start calling that penalty, because it's so political. I feel like in the NFL these days, it's all about like the play calls and the way that the rules are and the way that it's set up.
Ryan,
it's all about...
I'm gonna let Dave jump in here real quick, but I'm gonna say this, Ryan. It's this. This is the discussion, and then we're gonna let Dave get here. The refs are just fucking terrible. It is, if you think about it, folks, just across the league, 3 years, what has been the story 80% of the time going out of an NFL weekend? Terrible refereeing in 60% of the games. I swear to God, there's 3 good referee crews, and the rest are just shit. Like, honestly. And those 3 referee crews, you know all their names because they've been around since we were all toddlers, and they just got some integrity, and they know like kind of what football is. Like they're not going to throw like stupid penalty flags and get ticky-tacky because it's goddamn professional football here. Like, these are grown men. And the rest of these guys want to act like 19-year-old rookie cops out of the goddamn academy that say, well, you're going 56 miles an hour, motherfucker. That's a $125 fine. You got to pay that shit. It's ridiculous. And then they get in an argument with each other on the field because they're like, well, you really shouldn't give a ticket for 1 mile an hour. And then New York's like, well, we don't care how terrible the call is. Whatever's on the field, we don't want to have the integrity of our NFL and referee PA, because we're already in negotiations. That's so we're just going to, whatever fucking terrible call they make, as long as it's not too much, we're just going to stick with it. It's like every game. And every fan base wants to claim every week on our show that their fan base is the one that gets this shit the most. And Dave and I are just starting to laugh because it's like a rhetorical statement every week. Go ahead, Dave.
Are you okay? Your voice stayed pretty deep there for a long time. Look, a White Claw. Now it's on.
Stop with the lady drink, man.
You drink blue raspberry vodka. I don't want to hear a thing.
I am a Russian.
It's pretty damn good, guys. It's pretty damn good.
You hear it, guys? Ryan's liver. Help me.
So here's a couple other notes that I had because I got all my notes in front of me, and that's the only way that I can stay organized at this point after having about 6 to 7 or 8 White Claws and 5 shots in me. Aaron Rodgers with another Tom Brady special touchdown pass. That was nice to see. The little 1-foot shovel pass to Aaron Jones that gets around the corner in for the end zone counts as a passing touchdown. Love it. That's something that I've always been like just ragging on Tom Brady for in the past. And like, oh, look at those stats. Like, oh, that's the easiest touchdown pass ever. Well, guess what? Now Aaron Rodgers gets to have the same shit, and I'm cool with it. Elgton Jenkins, obviously our boy, who you and I, we all love. We've been talking about Elgton Jenkins being the man at left guard since he was basically drafted. He hadn't given up a sack the entire season. He finally gave up his first sack after 8.44 seconds.
Yeah. And here's what it was. He didn't even give it up.
The first time ever.
He didn't get beat. He literally made like kind of
Laga gave up a sack too tonight.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing about Jenkins, and they even commented they commented on it, right? They said he didn't get beat. What happened was he assumed in his head, oh, I've been blocking a long time. The ball's got to be gone. And he literally just let the guy go.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't that he got beat. So, like, okay, there's like a little asterisk next to that stat where there's a sack gave up. And it's really like, not that he gave it up. It should say like 1 sack unearned because rookie made bonehead mistake on letting his guy go after 10 seconds of blocking. Like I have never seen a play quite like that where a guy literally doesn't get beat, but he gives up the sack because he's just like, oh man, the ball's got to be gone. I've been blocking for like an ever and a day. Like,
yeah.
it was just had we lost, I'd be pissed kind of about something like that, but we can laugh about it right now.
Yeah, no, he's going to get credited for giving up a sack, unfortunately, even though it was literally according to the broadcast, 8.44 seconds. And literally Rodgers normally throws that ball away. He didn't in that situation for whatever reason. I think he thought that guy wasn't actually going to tackle him. And so he held on to it for just a split second longer. And then he actually fell down and it became a sack. But yeah, it sucks because I love that dude, Elgton Jenkins. And I feel like that was not deserved against him when it comes to the stat sheet. But it is what it is. Andy Reid, ultimately, the reason why I thought that this game was going to be a lot closer, and it was a lot closer than I think a lot of people thought, especially when they saw the inactives, when they saw, hey, Pat Mahomes isn't playing, Chris Jones isn't playing, Frank Clark isn't playing, Eric Fisher's not playing. A lot of major integral starting players weren't playing for the Chiefs. Ultimately, I said, hey, one, this game is in Kansas City. They have a lot of pride there. That's a tough place to play. It's really fucking loud there.
Coming off a big game against Denver, too.
Yeah, and then, too, Matt Moore is not a joke. Like, Matt Moore, as a backup quarterback, is a decent backup quarterback. And ultimately, their weapons, the way that offense is run, it doesn't take a lot for you to be able to get the ball into your playmakers to just make plays. Right? It doesn't, like, the playmakers in that offense have straight up legit speed. They're not the type of guys that you have to throw it 40, 50, yards down the field. All you got to do is give it to them in space. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 yards within the line of scrimmage. Get them the ball, let them do their thing, and then good things happen. Matt Moore or any other backup quarterback for that reason, like it doesn't matter. You don't need to be an all-pro quarterback. You don't need to be Pat Mahomes to be able to do those same types of things. So I knew this game would be close. Andy Reid is a really good coach. He had some calls, especially on the touchdowns in the first half against the Packers defense that, quite frankly, it doesn't matter if it's Pat Mahomes or Matt Moore. Those were going to be touchdowns the way that we played them. We got our lunch eaten in the first half when it came to Andy Reid and his play calls on offense versus Mike Pettine's play calls on defense and the way that we played it. That's just what it is.
You know what type of playbook I think Andy busted out?
What?
Alex Smith playbook, Mr. Check down the flats, safe throws, quick throws, and that's what it reminded me of, was Alex Smith a couple of years ago for the Chiefs.
Exactly, but they have the type of playmakers on offense and the skill.
Agreed. It was just to take the pressure off of Moore.
Here's the thing. What pissed me off, Ryan, and in my notes, what pissed me off about it is you've got a bunch of big corners, right? Like, Sammy Watkins is not good against the press. He's weak. He always has been since he came out of Clemson. He was supposed to be this big-time product, got drafted 8th overall by Buffalo, and he's just never been good off the press. After his rookie year where he exploded and he started to get injured, he's just not good. Tyreek Hill is me like 180 pounds. He's like 15 pounds heavier than I am, and he's like 5'7". I'm actually taller than him. Okay, press
and
his
runs a
ass.
4.28.
You couldn't run that 40 though.
Press his ass. I can't run that 40, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I know I can hold him with one hand and beat him with the other, and he's not getting away from me because I'm twice as strong as he is. And if I had to cover him, his ass wouldn't get off the line of scrimmage as a DB, and I play free safety. That motherfucker, me and him, I don't care how fast he is, he's getting pressed up, and his ass ain't moving off the line of scrimmage. Like, the fact you're playing 10 yards off the line of scrimmage off of him is why those stupid little motion jet freaking sweep shit and short passes work. If you press their ass and you shed those blocks, you do it. And another thing is, can we get goddamn Tyler Lancaster off this fucking team?
Whoa. He had the only turnover tonight.
Yeah, he recorded
Whoa.
that fumble recovery.
And stripped it and recovered it.
There you go.